And gentlemen, this is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are 100% absolutely positively glad in it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you're coming on, please do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and be sure to tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know your boy Ramonepreston, my squad. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of the A, the T, and the L. Today is Thursday, May the 18th, 2023. And one of the reasons why I'm giving you the day, the date, and the time, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard, is because 2 days from now, on Saturday, May the 20th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., I am hosting my last holding company workshop of the year. And if you are interested in learning everything you need to learn about holding companies, operating companies, asset management, creative tax strategies, how to use your holding company for coaching and consulting, and if you have questions that you want answered about your holding company or about how to properly structure your business, then you're going to need to join me this upcoming Saturday. All right. So we got 2 days until our live virtual holding company workshop. And if you are coming on, joining me today, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. And hopefully you are watching this live or maybe the replay, but it's before Saturday, May the 20th, so that you could join me for my live virtual holding company workshop. My name is Ramonepreston. For those of you that don't know, I'm the host of the Ramonepreston Show. And every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I come here live on the Ramonepreston Show to give you information, to share with you things that I know you can use if you are interested in starting and structuring and scaling a legitimate, successful business. That's what I do every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon. If you have not followed me this week and have not watched the show this week, I have dedicated this entire week to talking about different aspects of the holding company. And the reason why is because Saturday I'm hosting a live holding company workshop. And it's going to be the second workshop that I've hosted this year, but it's going to be the last workshop. I'm not hosting any other holding company workshops for this year. And the way the market is going, the way business and entrepreneurship is moving, you probably want to learn the principles, the practices surrounding holding companies. All right. And so today I'm going to continue my conversation that I started this past Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and now today is Thursday. So for the last 3 days up until today, I've been talking about different things about the holding company. Number one, we defined what a holding company is. That's where we started at Monday, what a holding company is. And I gave you a clear working definition for what a holding company is and for how a holding company works. All right. So just in case you don't know, a holding company is a legal entity. However the legal entity is structured. All right. We're not going to get into how the legal entity needs to be structured. We're just going to go to the basics of what a holding company is. A holding company is a legal entity that you're using to hold. The key word is hold. All right. You are holding ownership interests of other businesses. You are holding assets. You are holding investments, anything that can at some point increase your net worth and increase the enterprise value of your company. That's what your holding company is going to, the key word, hold. All right. Tuesday, I gave you some reasons why you should start a holding company. There are many reasons why you should start a holding company. And again, even if you got an operating business, you got a product that you want to sell, you got a service you want to provide, I'm still going to recommend that you start a holding company and then you just put that operating company under it so that instead of you owning the operating business that you sell products and provide services through, your holding company does, and it sits you at the top of the holding company. So this past Monday, we talked about what a holding company is, how a holding company works, all right? Tuesday, 2 days ago, we talked about reasons why you should start a holding company. Some people will tell you it ain't worth you having a holding company because a holding company is a more complex business entity that you really don't need if you just want to sell apparel, or if you just want to detail cars, or if you just want to be a painter or a digital marketer or a coach or have an online store. That's their opinion. It don't mean it's across the board facts, all right? But if you plan on building wealth, if you plan on, at the very least, becoming a millionaire and having a successful business enterprise that not only pays you, but that can solidify your legacy, then I'm going to be the one to tell you that you should have a holding company. There are so many reasons why. Tuesday, we talked about some of those reasons. Number one, a holding company is your legacy company. So if you want to establish a legacy, a long-term legacy, then you're going to want to have that holding company, especially when you start moving towards accumulating assets under your holding company, and then at some point transitioning that holding company into a trust. You're going to want a holding company to do that. You're not going to want your operating company being the only company that you own, and you don't want to run all your assets and investments and businesses through one entity, especially if it's an operating company. So your legacy is one. Another reason we talked about why you should start a holding company is because of this generational wealth transfer. All you got to do is start Googling baby boomer wealth transfer. If you just Google that, baby boomer wealth transfer, here's what you're going to find out. Within the next several years, it's going to be tens of trillions, trillion with a T, tens of trillions of dollars are going to be transferred from the baby boomer generation to this current generation. Now, how do you think that wealth is going to be transferred? Do you think Uncle Jimmy or Auntie or, you know, the successful business owner, do you think they're going to transfer this wealth, trillions and trillions of dollars of wealth, person to person? No, it ain't going to be person to person. It's going to be entity to entity. It's going to be business structure to business structure. It's going to be system to system. So if you already have a holding company set up and you have operating companies under it, or even if you don't have a whole lot of operations and activities going on, if you just have the infrastructure set up and you are knowledgeable and educated on how these business systems operate, when an opportunity presents itself, which within the next several years, there will be opportunities presenting themselves. The truth is this: every day in today's world, every day, over 1,600 businesses close. Think about that. Every day, over 1,600 businesses close. Every day, people are walking away from their houses. Every day, people are walking away from their businesses. Every day, people are walking away from things that you, as an asset manager, can use as assets to accumulate and integrate into your business system. So you got to think about how you can use a holding company in this type of business structure to really leverage the opportunities that are available in the marketplace. All right. So I talked about your holding company is your legacy. Another reason why you want to start a holding company is because of the generational wealth transfer. Another reason is because of the consolidation and the centralization you get. It just makes it easier. I always paint this diagram. Again, if this is you and you have business ideas, let's say you got 4 business ideas. I know this is a simple diagram, but this is just one picture to show you how complex but how powerful the holding company concept can be when you learn it and then you put those principles to practice. So let's say you got 4 business ideas and then you start LLC 1, you start LLC 2, LLC 3, LLC 4. It's no problem. You could do that. You own 4 different LLCs. These could be 4 different businesses. but it's really not as consolidated and centralized as it would be if you created a holding company with LLC number 1, and then you took LLC number 2, LLC number 3, LLC number 4, and put those LLCs under it. Just look at how centralized and how consolidated that is. That looks consolidated. As bad as I am when it comes to, drawing, it just looks different because these are some of the reasons why you want to start a holding company. Now, if you didn't catch yesterday's show, in which all of you that are watching outside of Instagram, the only people who heard me yesterday on the show was people on Instagram. I thought we were streaming live through our streaming service on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook and Twitter, but the stream didn't go through. And I didn't recognize it and realize it. Nobody on my team did until we were already 40 minutes in, and then it was over. So yesterday, just in case you missed it, I talked about 3 things you need to learn about holding companies. 3 things you need to learn. What are those 3 things that you need to learn about holding companies? I'm gonna give you the abbreviated version of all 3 of them, okay? Number 1, number 2, and number 3. The first thing you need to learn about holding companies is what we call the CT and the S. The CT and the S. Ramon, what are the CTSs? The CTSs are the creative tax strategies. This is something you need to learn when it comes to holding companies. Because again, if you are looking to minimize your taxes and maximize your profits, and you want to reallocate pre-tax dollars, and you want to look for opportunities to lower your tax bill, all the big companies that you see operating today, they do this. They implement creative tax strategies because they're positioned to do so. And what has positioned them to do that is because of how their business structure is. They're structured like holding companies. Like almost every major corporation that exists today, it is structured like a holding company. All you got to do is Google holding companies in the United States of America, or the top 100 holding companies in the United States of America, and watch how many names that are household names that will show up. So again, some people will, tell you that you don't need to have no holding company. You just a small business owner. You just a solopreneur. That's their opinion. You don't have to go with people's opinions. A lot of y'all that are entrepreneurs, y'all think like I do. And the reason why I know that is because y'all really have thousands of ideas. How many of you entrepreneurs are like me when it comes to that? How many of y'all just have thousands of ideas? How many of y'all have thousands of ideas as entrepreneurs? Come on, I want you to put in the comments if that's you. If you one of those people who have thousands of ideas running through your mind in the middle of the night, you one of those entrepreneurs who are always thinking about a new business idea, I want you to put in the comments, that's you. I want you to put in the comments, that's me. I'm just like you, Ramon. I wake up in the middle of the night with ideas about businesses. I'm dreaming about businesses. I'm thinking about business ideas. I'm thinking about inventions, all this stuff. Well, guess what? If you're going to have these ideas turn into realities, at some point, you're probably going to need a holding company structure set up. And so, again, yesterday, I talked about the 3 things you need to learn about holding companies. Number 1, creative tax strategies, because that's going to be one of the biggest benefits that you have when you start making money through your subsidiaries or the companies that your holding company owns. Okay. All right. We got some people on our chat saying, that's me. That's you talking about me, bruh. I got some people saying you talking about me. So if that's you, I get you. I feel you. I understand. But what I want you to learn is how to take those ideas, drop them into your holding company ecosystem, even if it's initially for research and development, so that at some point those ideas can become assets inside of your organizational enterprise. All right. So the second thing that you need to learn about holding companies is what we call CCE. This is consulting, coaching, and education. So as I told y'all yesterday, I teach a concept called the SMS matrix. It's a creative concept that I teach. And for those of you that are signing up for my holding company workshop this Saturday, not only are you getting this digital workbook and you're going to have a day to train with me and I'm going to answer all your questions, but I'm also giving you access to my holding company course with a startup kit. And inside that course, as well as inside of this workbook this Saturday, I talk about this creative concept called the SMS matrix. And I have a diagram that I use to explain it. And some of you that are watching through the stream, you might not be able to see it as clear, but you'll see it this Saturday if you join me. And of course, you will see it inside of the course. But the SMS matrix is a creative concept that I've put together to show you how do you run your consulting, your coaching, and your education through your holding company. I think this is a missed opportunity for a lot of entrepreneurs. Yesterday, I gave an example. Like, for example, if you're Joe the plumber, or if you are a car detailer, any business you can think about that somebody has, that they sell a product or provide a service, most of the times as entrepreneurs, they go to the marketplace with that idea, right? Okay, I'm selling apparel, or I'm the car detailer, or I'm the digital marketer, or I'm the website guy, or I'm the shoe shiner, whatever the business is. A lot of people don't think about how to create a business infrastructure using this holding company concept, where you may be the detailer. You may have a car detailing business or a plumbing business, whatever the business that you're in. But if you have a holding company that positions you as an expert in that space, it gives you more value. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me just kind of show you real quick before I give you this third thing, because I got some things I want to talk about today. So let's say if you are Joe the plumber, and this could be any business. This could be a detail, any business you think about that you sell products and services through. Put your name there. You are that person. You're the apparel person, you're the designer, you're the lawyer, you're the teacher, you got online courses, whatever the things are that you sell, the products you sell, the services you provide. I want you to understand how powerful this concept is. Okay, you could go out into the marketplace and tell everybody, hey, my name is Joe the plumber. I sell this and I sell that. You can make money, but you're not as valuable as you would be if this was a company and then you created a holding company and you stood on top of that holding company and you created services, consulting, coaching, and educational services for this industry. And instead of you going into the marketplace as Joe the plumber, you go as Joe the plumbing consultant, or Janice the detailing consultant. All of a sudden, the value of this business increases and you got other products and services that you can provide because you've repositioned yourself. So this is a concept that you got to learn, especially in today's world. You should be wanting to learn it. So again, yesterday we talked about those three things you need to learn. Number one, you need to learn creative tax strategies when it comes to holding companies. Number two, you need to learn how to take services like consulting, coaching, and education and run them through your holding company. Because some people question that. They say, well, I thought a holding company don't supposed to do no business. No, the primary purpose of a holding company is to hold assets, but it don't mean you can't do nothing through your holding company. The truth is, people who own holding companies and who have a lot of assets, they are actually doing something through their holding company, which is the third thing I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about that you need to learn about holding companies, and that is asset management. Most entrepreneurs who own businesses, they don't even know about asset management. And I promise you, for those of you that are listening to me and watching me, if you if you just learn the basic principles and practices around this holding company concept, how to start them, how to structure them, how to manage the day-to-day operations of them. And if all you learned was creative tax strategies, if you learned how to utilize your assets and your intellectual property for consulting, coaching, and education, and if you learned how to become an asset manager, if you just learned those couple things, I guarantee the value of your products and services will go up. You probably make more money because you're going to feel different about yourself. And the enterprise value of your organization will increase. How many of y'all think that would happen? Do you think that is possible? Because if you have a business right now, or you're thinking about getting into business, most likely you're just thinking about going out in the marketplace, selling your product, and providing your service. You ain't thinking about tax strategies, which is critical when you start making money, probably even before you start making money. You ain't thinking about how your consulting services and your coaching services and your educational content is more valuable than even the business you have doing the thing that you do or selling the product you sell. You're not thinking about that. And you probably don't even see how you're already consulting people. It don't matter what industry you in. You could be selling socks and shoes. If I called you, if you sold shoes and I called you, you would probably tell me everything about shoes. You would essentially consult me. All right. And then the next thing is asset management. You have to learn how to become an asset manager. Okay. So again, let's say you have, we're going to put operating business right here. You have an operating business. It does not matter what that operating business is. If you have a business that sells a product or provides a service, that business is essentially an operating business. Can we all agree on that? Whether it's a LLC, a partnership, a S Corp or C Corp, we're not talking about the entity structure necessarily. We're just saying if you have a legal entity set up, you got an EIN number and you got paperwork with the Secretary of State, you have an operating business. You sell a product, you provide a service, or maybe both. What I'm saying to you is when you learn principles and concepts like what I'm teaching you right now, instead of you being here at the top of this operating business, only positioning yourself as the guy or the gal that does this, we want to move this and we want to put another company on top of that, and we want this to be your holding company. And we want to put you on the top of the holding company. Now, again, for creative tax purposes, this is going to give you more leverage when it comes to you having coaching programs, or maybe providing consulting services or creating educational content. Those are intellectual assets that you can actually run through your holding company as top tier services. These could be top tier services that not only bring more value to this business or other businesses, but it gives you other opportunities to share your expertise with people. And you can run that through your holding company, at least until you start making enough money that it requires you to separate them and turn them into other business entities. But from the perspective of asset management, think about the asset management part. Don't this look like asset management? Because you may be asking, well, where is the asset management come in at? Well, your holding company becomes an asset manager by default because it owns assets. The first asset it owns is the operating business. And so this Saturday, I'm going to share with you about 30 different assets that you can integrate into your business. And when you integrate them into your business, if you associate a dollar amount to them, they can increase the enterprise value of your organization. Like if you start taking a look at a lot of the big tech companies in Silicon Valley, a lot of the companies that are tied to venture capital or private equity groups, what you're going to see is a lot of these companies have massive enterprise value because of the assets that they have accumulated. Of course, a lot of those assets are creating revenue. They're generating revenue. They have cash flow. A lot of these assets are making money, but some of these assets might not necessarily be generating a profit. They might be generating revenue, but they might not be making a profit. There are a lot of businesses that have a high enterprise value that are not really profitable. But because they have a lot of assets that they've accumulated, they have certain enterprise or market value. And all of you small business owners, solopreneurs, you work a job, you got a side hustle, you got to start thinking on the level of asset management, even for your small business. You got to stop thinking like a business operator or a laborer inside of a business. This is what positions you to start working on your business, even while you probably have to keep working in your business. But at some point, you will be able to exit that role when you generate enough revenue and you accumulate enough assets that you can afford to bring new people in. But how are you going to understand those dynamics if you're not educated on them? Like, where you going to learn this stuff from? You get what I'm saying? So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the asset management side of your holding company. Because again, if you set a holding company up, even if you have an operating company, or even if you ain't really making no money in another company, having a structure like this set up, it at least puts you in a position to learn the ins and outs of asset management. And I'm not just talking about you paying somebody to structure legal entities for you, because if you do that, it don't mean they educating you. All right. I know a lot of people who got a whole lot of paperwork and they ain't got no understanding of the paperwork that they got. They got 3 or 4 or 5 different LLCs, and they don't even know how to run the day-to-day operations of those LLCs. They're just as confused with 5 LLCs as they were with no LLCs. So getting people who know what they're doing to put those entities together is one thing, but getting educated and informed and gaining the knowledge on how to actually use them and benefit from them is something different. And most likely, if not all the way likely, you're going to have to find people who understand how to practice business through those different concepts. So when I talk about asset management, there are a couple of things that I want you to think about. When you are an asset manager, you're not just, and I'm not talking about like Wall Street or private equity groups asset management. I'm talking about you being the owner of this entity, and this entity being the entity that you're using to accumulate assets. All right. And there's a process that you have to go through. Okay. So let me just kind of draw another board, clean it up a little bit. This is your holding company. And then you might have some divisions. We're going to put circles there for your divisions. And then you might have some ideas to start other LLCs under it. Number one, we want your structure to look like that. We want it to be clean. And now we want to think about, okay, you got operating businesses. You may have some divisions under your holding company, like a consulting, education, or maybe training. But now we want to start thinking about, okay, how do I maximize this business structure for asset management? How do I maximize it? Well, you have to learn how to accumulate assets. And when you accumulate those assets, so there's a phase of accumulating assets. There's a phase of integrating those assets. And then there's going to be a phase of valuating. I'll just make it all make sense. Accumulating. So you got the accumulation, the integration, and the valuation. Those are the phases of that process that you're going to want to go through. You want to accumulate those assets, you want to integrate them, and then you want to evaluate them. Well, how do you accumulate them? Well, you got to identify with them. So again, this Saturday, I'm going to share with you about 30 different assets that you can accumulate. Let me share a couple with you now. Your trademark, that could be trademark. That could be an asset that you accumulate. Copyrights could be IP, intellectual property. Of course, it could be other businesses that you accumulate as assets. But just with these few alone, remember I told you, if you have a business that you're already operating over here, if you already have some type of business that you operate in, it don't matter what the business is. It could be washing cars. It could be laundry services. It could be residential or commercial cleaning. It could be, a painting. It don't matter. If you have certain business operations that are going on right now that's making you money, think about the intellectual property that you have that's tied to those businesses. Whether it's detailing cars, washing clothes, think about the intellectual assets. Think about the things that you do in this business that if you separated them from the business, they can actually be assets. They could be assets. You have intellectual property. You got trademarks. I have at least 30 different common assets that you could be using to increase your net worth and to increase your enterprise value. But am I making sense to you already? For you to see, you've got to put these assets together. You got to accumulate them. And then once you accumulate them, meaning that once you identify with what are the things that I have in my life that I can separate from all the things that I'm doing, all the business activities that I'm doing that I can consider to be assets. And then once I put a list of those things together, which I have about 30 different ones, now I accumulate them. I need to now integrate them. What do you mean integrate? Well, exactly what I mean. I have to take these assets and I have to integrate them. I have to plug them into my business ecosystem. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to see where in my business ecosystem does these assets fit perfectly that I can either monetize, make money off of, or even if I'm not initially making money off of them, how can I use them to give my company a higher enterprise value? What I'm telling you is going to be the difference between small business owners that make it this season and small business owners that don't make it. Because if you just thinking about your business and all you thinking like is an operator and not an asset manager, you're probably going to miss a whole lot of opportunities in the next few years when this baby boomer generation leaves the workforce, leaves the marketplace, retire, and all this wealth is transferred, which a lot of that wealth, if not almost all of it, is going to be transferred business to business. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know I'm rambling and talking a lot and talking fast because I'm limited in how much time I got just on a live show, but I'm trying to show you that if you accumulate assets, meaning that if you identify with everything in your life, everything that you have that you participate in business or in your career with that are assets, if you can identify them as assets and accumulate them and then integrate them into your business, it's easier to evaluate them or at least put a dollar amount to them. I mean, don't you know that there are companies that you can pay to come inside of your business, look at your business. They will look at your revenue. They will look at your profits, your gross, your net profits. They will look at your cash reserves, and they will take a look at all the assets that you have, things that you have paperwork and documentation on and activity on, and they will give your business a specific dollar amount valuation. There are firms that do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this does not have to happen when you become $100 million company. What if that never happens? See, I figured these things out, and I was forced to figure these things out because I realized as a solopreneur, scrapping every day, trying to build a successful business, I realized that, man, this ain't gonna be easy. Nobody's gonna really give me no handouts. Banks ain't gonna just give me no money. I'm not gonna get lines of credit that just give me that lift. I'm not going to get somebody to co-sign me to make my videos go viral. Once I realized that, because, you know, I always hoped for certain things to happen. Everybody wants a Hail Mary, right? But once I realized that it wasn't going to happen like that, I said, you know what? I'm going to create my own ecosystem, and I'm going to identify with as many assets as I can. I'm going to bring those assets together. I'm going to integrate them all into my business ecosystem, and I'm going to make them make sense for me to monetize them, to bring value to them, so that when I get to a certain point that I can now leverage those things for other purposes, I'm going to be in a better position. All right. And so what I'm sharing with you is going to be critical, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you know this is what I want to do. This is how I want my life to be. I want to be an asset manager. I want to be a business owner. I want to be an investor. I want to be a millionaire. Well, guess what? If that's what you want to be, you got to play the game. So again, today is Thursday. And we only have 2 more days. I'll be back here live tomorrow, and that will be the final live before our workshop this Saturday. So if you haven't heard me, I'm going to extend this offer to you, all right? This Saturday, May the 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., I'm hosting a live virtual holding company workshop. I'm going to be teaching you. I have the workbook in front of me, the physical copy. You're going to get a digital copy of this, okay? And I'm going to take the whole day Saturday. I'm going to walk you through all the fundamental steps of understanding a holding company, how to start and structure them, how to file and form the paperwork. Even if you don't do it yourself and you pay somebody to do it, I still want you to know how to do it, okay? I'm going to talk to you about subsidiaries, divisions. How do you build them out? We're going to be talking about managing a holding company. I'm going to show you the most creative way to manage a holding company, how to integrate the right systems and processes into this very complex business structure so that you're not confused and you don't feel like you're all over the place. Most of you that are entrepreneurs, even if you don't have a holding company, you probably already feel like you're all over the place because you don't know how to manage your business operation. You probably don't understand how to properly integrate the right systems and processes to make your operation more efficient and more effective. I'm going to be talking to you about that. I'm also going to have a segment in here where we talk about what I mentioned earlier, the SMS matrix, to show you a creative way to take the intellectual property of your curriculum or of your ideas for what you do in business, and to turn those ideas and that intellectual property into consulting services and coaching programs and educational content for people that you either work with, for your team, and for other people who may want to get into your industry to know what you know. I'm also going to be answering about at least 40 or 50 different questions, and I'll answer all your questions in between. We're going to have interactive exercises throughout the day. So if you have questions, I'll answer those questions, and we're going to end this workshop on Saturday talking about the holding companies and the asset management part of it. I'm gonna share with you about 30 different assets so that you can know exactly how do you identify with these assets, how do you accumulate them, how do you integrate them into your business. Some of these integrations may require you to have certain documentation. Okay, let's say if there's a certain asset that you personally own, but you want that asset to be owned by your business. Well, you just draft up the proper documents for your business to own it, especially if there's a dollar value associated to that asset. You wanna make your business system the most valuable asset that you have. All right, that's what the game is. Like the game is not for you to be trying to put all your money in other stuff and your business doesn't have any value. Your business is not a real asset for you. You want your business to be an asset for you. And if or when you do it the right way, you'll get to a point to where the other things that you want, your business will afford you the opportunity to purchase them. Okay. So this Saturday, May the 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., I want you to join me for my live virtual holding company workshop. All right. This is going to be a one-day deep dive. I'm offering this. This is a special offer for $97. Okay. This workshop is typically $497. I'm giving it to you for $97. So what all are you going to get for $97? Well, I'm not just giving you the one-day VIP ticket to join me so I can train you. I'm going to give you your own digital workbook that you can download, you can keep for yourself. I'm going to give you the full replay of this Saturday, and I also have another replay from my last holding company workshop already inside of that portal. I'm going to also give you 1 year access to my holding company course. This course has hundreds of lessons and videos, and it has a startup kit with walkthrough video tutorials to show you how to actually go through the steps of obtaining your EIN number for a holding company LLC, for an operating company LLC, what language you need to use, how to get your articles of organization with the Secretary of State. We even show you how to draft your operating agreement, and we have the documents and forms for all of this inside of the kit. So I'm just adding all of this as a bonus because I probably should say I really believe that this whole generational wealth transfer that's taken place, I believe that those who are positioned properly and who are educated about things like holding companies and asset management and acquisitions are going to be the people who win big. Even the people in the consulting and coaching and educational space online are going to win big in the next 3 to 6 to 7 years. It's going to be a real big wave, and I want you to be a part of it, okay? So again, this Saturday, you get a VIP ticket to my holding company workshop. It's a virtual event, so you don't have to show up in person. All you have to do is just log into the private portal. We'll onboard you when you reach out to us. We're giving it to you for $97. You get the ticket to join me Saturday. You get a digital workbook for yourself. You get the full replay for this Saturday and the one that we did last month. You get 1 year access to my holding company course plus my startup kit. All you have to do is text VIP to 678-276-8253. It's only $97. I mean, come on. If you're an entrepreneur and you know you have dreams to build a successful organizational enterprise, and you don't know enough about concepts like creative tax strategies, asset management, how to structure your business operations correctly so that your ideas can be housed correctly, it's worth paying the $97, not just to come to the workshop, but to also get access to courses that you're able to have enough time. You get a whole year to train, to educate, and to get answers for all the things that you probably have in your mind anyway. So it's not just about you showing up Saturday for a live event, because maybe you can't show up. All right. So you'll just have to come back and watch the replay. But more importantly, it's about you at least having access to the information, to the education that's necessary for you to learn how to take all these ideas you have, which are business ideas, and how to properly structure them in a way so that you ain't all over the place and you ain't feeling confused and lost and feel like you're not getting anything done. That's a structure issue. So if you're having issues with, let's say, your sales, your marketing, your operations, and your finances, those systems and processes, those activities are tied to your structure. So it's kind of like building a house, and before you put the electricity in, the pipes for the water in, the drywall up, it's like going to buy furniture and put furniture in a house that the foundation is built but nothing else is built. You don't even know where to properly position the furniture. So I want to show you how to build the house, how to build the infrastructure, how to make sure you have it wired right, you have your pipes correct, you have your drywall up, you bring definition to each room. So when you bring the things that you know you want to do in business with products and services into that ecosystem, into that structure, it makes sense to you. It gives you the clarity you need and the confidence you need to go into the marketplace and make a big splash. So just text VIP to 678-276-8253. Again, text VIP to 678-276-8253. I hope you all have enjoyed today's show. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more with you about holding companies, but I want you to join me this Saturday for my live virtual holding company workshop. I want to give you access to your own digital workbook. I want to give you 1 year access to my holding company course with hundreds of video lessons. Like, it's so much information in that course. One of our students is on the chat and he said, go get the full course. It is a game changer for life. So we have so many reviews, so many great responses. I have students in my online program, and I have clients who are in my mentorship program who have told me that they have paid thousands of dollars to learn about holding companies from other people who may be my competitors. And they have told me straight up, they've learned more just from my show and my videos on YouTube than they have in paid courses with other people. And then when they get access to my courses online, they realize, oh, wow, all of the things you talk about on your live show and on your videos and in your content on social media, you still have much more content inside of the actual course. And if you want to preview my course, the additional offer that I'm extending to you, if you want to preview it, all you have to do is go to Ramonepreston.com. I'm going right here now. You can go to Ramonepreston.com. Can we get it up? Let's see, web search. There it is right there, Ramonepreston.com. If you go to Ramonepreston.com, if you just want to preview what the course looks like and what's inside of the course, all you have to do is go to Ramonepreston.com. If you click training right here, training, it's going to prompt you to my online training program called the Millionaire Blueprint. Inside of my Millionaire Blueprint, one of the many courses inside of this financial and business wealth building system, there are many, many courses inside of here on Wow. See, this is what happens when you're going live and you're running your mouth. God's infinite son. This is what happens when you're in here running your mouth. My whole team know how I roll. I be on here running my mouth. So all of you that are watching me on the stream, my mic went out just a few minutes ago, so I don't know how much of the last little bit of the information you got, but you got enough, okay? So put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's show, and you should be taking me up on this $97 offer. After Saturday, this offer ends, and there will be no more live holding company workshops that I will host anymore this year. All right. My next one is probably going to be next year because I host so many live events for my coaching clients throughout the year. I don't even have, like space on my schedule to do it. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing it virtual this weekend. So I would love to have you join me. Even if you can't join me the whole time this Saturday, at least you could pay the $97. You have access to your own workbook. You have access to the replay, all right? And you have access for 1 year to my holding company course, in which I just showed you on the screen that you can preview at Ramonepreston.com or RamoneprestonUniversity.com. All right, so I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow here, which is Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, same place, same time on the Ramone Preston Show. All right, peace.